Hey there, financial faithful. Are you scrolling through life instead of living it? Is your screen time stealing your green time? Well, stick around because today on the Ask Ralph Show, we're diving into the digital dilemma that's draining both our wallets and our walk with God. Oops, sorry about that. Should have put my phone on silent. But hey, that's exactly what we're talking about today, isn't it? How do we set healthy boundaries with social media from a godly perspective? And more importantly, how do we find balance and break potential addictions? Trust me, you don't want to miss this eye-opening episode. But before we jump in, let's take a quick look back at yesterday's show. We tackled the question that keeps many parents up at night, and that's how am I going to pay for my children's college education? I hope you found some practical strategies to start building that college fund without breaking the bank. As always, you can find all of our episodes at AskRalph.com. Well, now let's get to today's hot topic, but first I want to share a voicemail message from one of our listeners. This one comes from Jack in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Hey, Ralph. I'm a small business owner and a dedicated Christian, but I'm struggling with my social media use. It started as a way to promote my business, but now I find myself mindlessly scrolling for hours. I'm neglecting my prayer time, my family, and even my business. How can I use social media effectively for my business without letting it consume my life? Is there a way to approach this from a Christian perspective? I feel like if I don't do something soon, I am going to not only lose my business, but also my family. I could really use your help. By the way, I love the show and I tell everyone about it. I even just ordered a shirt from your merchandise store.
Wow, Jack, I think you've hit the nail on the head with that question, and that's so relevant to many of us. Thank you for your honesty, and I'm glad you reached out. We're going to dive deep into this today. But before we do, I want to welcome all you wonderful listeners to another episode of the Ask Ralph Show. I'm your host, Ralph, and I'm here to help you master your finances from a Christian perspective. Thank you for tuning in and making this show a part of your day. As we tackle this important topic, let's start with a relevant Bible verse. It comes to us from the book of Proverbs, chapter 28, and it says, "A man without self-control is like a city broken into and left without walls." This verse reminds us the importance of self-discipline, which is crucial when it comes to managing our social media use. Now let's dive into the main content. Jack's question touches on the struggle that many of us face in this digital age. Social media can be a powerful tool for business and connection, but can also become a time-consuming distraction that pulls us away from what truly matters in life. So first, let's address the business aspect. Hey, I'm a small business owner myself. I understand the pressure to maintain an online presence. Social media can be an excellent way to reach customers. It can be an excellent way to showcase your products or services, and it's a great way to build your brand. However, it's crucial to approach it strategically rather than reactively. I have one client who just recently told me he spends up to an hour a day managing the social media for his business. So here's some practical steps you can take to use social media effectively for your business without letting it consume your life. Number 1, set specific goals for your social media use. Are you looking to increase brand awareness? Maybe you're looking to drive sales or provide customer service. Well, having clear objectives will help you stay focused. As I always say, what gets measured gets done. So if you want to have a successful social media presence, you've got to have a plan and set some specific goals. Number 2, schedule your social media activities. There are great tools out there like Hootsuite or Buffer to plan and schedule your posts in advance. This allows you to batch your social media work instead of constantly being online. I personally use these services for both my accounting practice as well as this show. It saves me tons of time and allows me to maintain a strong online presence. Let's look at number 3, and that's set strict time limits for social media engagement. Maybe, for example, you decide you might dedicate 30 minutes in the morning and then 30 minutes at night to respond to comments and messages. This is crucial. Listen, I even encourage you to set a timer and stick to it. It's way too easy to get sucked into the never-ending scroll, and the next thing you know, you spend half the day on social media. Be careful of this and set some strict limits. Number 4, turn off push notifications for social media apps. This will prevent the constant temptation to check your phone every time it buzzes. We've all gotten accustomed to that buzzing sound. These are massive disruptions, and they can lead to constant interruptions throughout your day. And finally, number 5, consider having a virtual assistant or a social media manager if your business requires more extensive social media presence. This can free up your time while still maintaining your important online presence. As I mentioned a month or so ago, I recently enlisted the support of a production team here on the show, and they've really helped me manage the time I spend doing the show with the needs of my accounting practice, and I'm still looking to exceed the expectations of my clients. So that outsourcing or that virtual person has really helped. Well, now let's look at this from a Christian perspective. As believers, we're called to be good stewards of our time and resources. The book of Ephesians chapter 5 verses 15 and 16 remind us, "Be very careful then how you live, not as unwise but as wise, making the most of every opportunity, because the days are evil." Well, that verse is certainly direct and gets your attention, doesn't it? Well, here are some spiritual strategies to help you find balance and set healthy boundaries with social media. First thing, start your day with God, not your phone. Instead of reaching for your device first thing in the morning, spend time in prayer and Bible study. This can set the tone for your day and remind you of your priorities. I even recommend not using your phone for your Bible or your devotional. Buy a book or use your paper Bible. It'll prevent you from getting lost in your phone checking your updates. Second thing, practice digital Sabbaths. Choose one day a week or even just a few hours each day to completely unplug from social media. Use this time to connect with God, your family, and your community in person. I'll be doing a whole show on this topic very soon, so look out for it. Third thing, use your social media presence as a ministry. This is a place to share encouraging Bible verses. Talk about your faith journey and how your business reflects your Christian values. This can turn your online activity into a form of witnessing. I do this as a center of my daily show. It's all about balancing finances with your faith. This show is truly my mission field, and I feel called by God to do it. And I'm hoping you're finding value on this show. And I'm going to ask you right now, if you do find value, do me a favor, share it with others, and let's grow this ministry. Fourth thing, before you post or engage, ask yourself this simple question. Is this glorifying God? Is this helping build others up? This can help you use your social media more intentionally and positively. We need to move away from the constant negativity we see way too much online and look for opportunities to share positive things which glorify God and which help build people up. And the fifth and final thing, replace some of your social media time with service. Volunteer at your local church or community organization. This will not only reduce your screen time, but also allows you to live out your faith in tangible ways. We can all find time to help build our local churches and our local communities. Well, now let's address the addiction aspect. Social media platforms are designed to be addictive. They use psychological tricks to keep us scrolling. That's just the truth. But as Christians, we're called to be transformed by the renewing of our minds. That's right from Romans chapter 12, verse 2, not conformed to the patterns of this world. So if you find yourself struggling with social media addiction, and trust me, I've been there, here are some steps you can take. Start by acknowledging the problem. Recognize that excessive social media use is hindering your relationship with God, it's harming your relationship with your family, and it could be impacting your business. It all starts with awareness. Then the second thing you want to do is do a digital detox. Take a week or two and completely take time off of social media. Use this time to reset your habits and rediscover offline activities you enjoy. Maybe take a walk. I encourage each of you to do this and regain your perspective. Another thing you can do is use app blockers or screen time limiters. Most smartphones now have built-in features to limit app usage, or you can download third-party apps for this very purpose. These are great resources and will help you break that addiction. It's important also to find some accountability. Share your struggles with a trusted friend, a family member, or your church small group. A lot of people may be going through the same things you're going through. Ask them to check in on your progress regularly. And the truth is, folks, to be truly successful, you've got to replace the habit with something else. When you feel the urge to check social media, try praying. Try reading a Bible verse or calling a friend instead. These are excellent replacements. And this is crucial. Seek professional help if you need it. If you're finding it impossible to control your social media use, don't be afraid to reach out to a Christian counselor or additional support. Like I said at the beginning, these are meant to be addictive. Remember, the goal isn't to completely eliminate social media from your life. I'm not saying it's terrible, but it's about finding a healthy balance that allows you to use these tools effectively for your business while still making priority for your family, for your faith, and your personal well-being. Let me share a personal experience. A few years ago, I realized I was spending way too much time scrolling through my news feed than reading my Bible. It was truly a wake-up call for me. I decided to implement what I call a phone-free hour every morning. During this time, I would read, I would pray, or simply be present with my family. You know what? Not only did it deepen my relationship with God, but I also found I was more creative and productive in my business. Sometimes stepping away from the noise of social media allows us to hear God's voice more clearly. Well, now let's recap what we've covered today. We discussed how to use social media effectively for business, including setting clear goals and scheduling your social media activities. We explored spiritual strategies for maintaining a healthy relationship with your social media, such as starting your day with God and practicing digital Sabbaths. And like I said, I'll be doing a show about that very issue soon. We addressed social media addiction, provided practical steps to break free of that, including we talked about digital detoxes and finding an accountability person. Remember, small changes can lead to big results. You don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight. Start with one or two of these strategies and build from there. The key is to be intentional about your social media use, always keeping your faith at the center. I hope this episode has been helpful to you, Jack, and to all our listeners grappling with this modern challenge. Remember, God has called us to be in the world, but not of the world. We can use social media as a tool for good, but we shouldn't let it control us or distract us from what truly matters. Well, before we wrap up, I want to remind you about tomorrow's show. We tackle another crucial financial topic, and that's how do I rebuild my credit after a financial crisis? And trust me, we've all been through those. So if you or someone you know has been through financial hardship, you won't want to miss this episode. And hey, do you have a burning financial question you'd like answered on this show? We'd love to hear from you. That's what the Ask Ralph show is all about, answering your questions and helping you master your finances from a Christian perspective. So don't be shy. Send in those questions. Now here's your call to action for today. Visit our website at AskRalph.com and join our community. When you do, you'll get a free copy of my book, Mastering Your Finances. That's right, this book sells for $10 on Amazon, but by joining our email list, you'll get a copy absolutely free. It's packed with practical advice rooted in biblical principles, and I know it'll be a blessing to you. And hey, if you found value in today's episode, why not share it with a friend or family member who might be struggling with social media balance? You never know how God might use your simple act of sharing to impact someone's life. Well, that's all for today, folks. Remember, small changes in how we use social media can lead to big improvements in our financial and spiritual lives. So put down that phone, pick up your Bible, and watch how God works in your life and business. And until next time, stay financially savvy, and may God bless you today.
Thank you for joining us on the Ask Ralph podcast. And with a simple click to subscribe, we'll invite you back to our next episode. And remember, financial issues don't have to be complicated. Just ask Ralph. The information contained in this episode of Ask Ralph is based on data available as of the date of its release. Saggio Accounting Plus and Ask Ralph Media, Inc. is under no obligation to update this content if changes occur. Applying this information to your specific situation requires careful consideration of all facts and circumstances, and any information provided is not to be considered as financial, tax, or legal advice. Please consult your tax advisor or attorney before acting on any material covered.